I'm coming at you today with a new video for the Focal Point series. This is all about direct response marketing and how your thoughts and focus expand in that market, or at least in that tactic of reaching your markets. Hey, what's up guys? Today, just kicking it at this one little resort with the coffee shop and swimming pool and everything. And I'm coming at you today with a new video for the Focal Point series. This is all about direct response marketing and how your thoughts and focus expand in that market, or at least in that tactic of reaching your markets. Because these are some of the most potent tactics that you can use for your mindset, but also for your focal point of what you're creating and how you're gonna market uniquely to these people. Because just a little quick lowdown, nowadays there are so many brands and companies that are not using direct response marketing. They want to focus on like brand awareness or getting their name out there, but it's really inefficient unless you have billions of dollars backing you to just consistently get your name in front of consumers the world over, hundreds of millions of people. So what's a better alternative is making sales now, right now, from a proven standpoint, from a proven perspective, from something that is actually proven with hundreds of years of backing it, like scientific advertising, like Claude Hopkins, like direct response copywriters such as David Ogilvy, Eugene Schwartz, Albert Lasker, Stanley Rubicon, all these people who built this industry basically with their hands because they're figuring out how to sell things to people in the most efficient way, in the most lean way, and all these lean startup and other ideas like that are kind of just built on this background of learning how to really sell to people in the right way. So today I got 3 tactics that have worked for me really well whenever I market to people, whenever I sell my items in e-commerce, whether it's drop shipping, fulfillment by Amazon, private labeling, or branding some of my own products. And this is really the 3 points that have really helped me. There's of course so many more. You can visit motiveinmotion.com to check out that, and also hit the subscribe button so you get so many new videos right to your inbox as soon as they come out. But let's get into it. So number 1, I really wanted you guys to focus on is the focal point of research. The focus in your expansion and your expansion subconscious mind will be collecting all these features, you know, the 2 inches, the product, the auto replay system, the auto rewind on an old VCR or something, the anything, solid foam core, 2 inches, 3 inches by 7 inches, the feature of an actual physical product. I want you guys to understand, to get the facts, to collect the features and the facts, the physical makeup of the product, the background, where it was built, why it was built, how it was built. Because ironically, you can be the first one to explain a building or brewing or creation or photography process to the consumer, where everyone is doing it but no one's explained it before that way. And it can be a powerful sales tool, and it can be sort of your mechanism for selling way more than the competition. So your number 1 tool of focus in direct response marketing is the research. You got to start with the research, got to know the basics and the fundamentals, the basics that have already created this industry. I want you guys to know the lead competition, the main competitors and their brands and their stories, and how they're selling, their mechanisms, you know, they're sort of how one thing in their product is outselling everything else, or at least is selling to the consumer because they care about that thing and it's very important to them. So the number 2 is by tapping a primal desire of your market, a specific and primal, old evolutionary based desire of a specific market, because there are certain triggers that will get different people taking action and running to you with fistfuls of cash. Because basically, if you can tap a fundamental evolutionary desire that's rooted in our biology, every single person has it. It's this primal psychology of survival, fight or flight. If you can tap that and find out which trigger works for your market, you're gonna sell that much more. You're gonna sell 10 times more than the competition, because they don't even understand it. They don't take the time to even recognize it or research at all. Of course, you're going through step 1 of researching that as well. That's included in your research, and you're making sure that you understand the desire. So let's say maybe it's a health niche, like I said in the e-commerce video as well. You can check that right here. It's about tapping primal desires and a bonus tip of copywriting. And it's all about health and fitness. Let's say that's a perfect example, right? You want to sell a running band or a watch or some type of athletic thing. The niche you can carve for yourself with their desires is that primal desire of staying healthy and fit and virile and strong and sexy. You know, that's even another desire that's attracted to the opposite sex. Everybody wants to be that, or you know, everybody wants to create the health in their lifestyle so they can either look like they are in a social setting. So there's so many things that intertwine and basically weave into these desires, and they go really deep, and they're extremely evolutionarily biased, you know, into the bias of the consumer, of the mindset of staying alive and surviving. So if you tap those and you know which one is right for your market, you're gonna crush it. You're gonna make 10 times more sales than you would if you were just shooting in the dark. And if you add that to the research and the competition, you cannot be stopped. And the number 3 tip that I want to talk to you about today is the one desire, that mass desire kind of leads from number 2 to your headline and your body copy and your whole main approach to your direct response advertising and copywriting. Because you want to have one main desire. It's almost impossible to sell 2 or 3 more desires that don't really feed into each other. They got to make one main desire, and it can be sort of an umbrella overarching other things, but it must be that main one desire. So find your status trigger, find your health or wellness or a survival trigger that's rooted in that evolutionary process of us staying alive and regenerating our species and carrying on our genes to the next generation, and basically tie that to your product, make that clear pathway. And there's so many things that are completely tied to this thing, but they're completely strategically different from this short little video. I want you guys to understand this is a very high level overview of 3 little concepts that can help you. They're mindsets, but they're also actionable and applicable to your strategy of your business plan. But this is not the in-depth study, okay? That's for more videos to come, more things on Motive in Motion, and that's what I work with for clients. You know, they understand how to tap those desires in their market and how to really get very deep in the desire and the fear of the customer, whether it's irrational or rational. A lot of those are irrational and they're unspoken. So you have to be good enough to market those to the unspoken crowd and the unspoken desires, and feel and sense that they're there, and not just kind of guess at it, okay? So it's really important to keep these 3 things intact and keep them really potent. Keep your mindset on point when you're marketing in a direct response setting. Also recognize that the summary is the research, the primal and feral desires of our evolutionary biology and psychology. And the 3rd tip, of course, is the one desire that you're pushing down the hill. You're making that so apparent and so conscious that they're intensifying their desire with you and with your product. And as you read and as they understand more of your copy and more of where you're coming from, more of your mechanization, you are winding this up into a nice presentation that builds a clear path and a bridge from their desire to your product. It's logical, it's emotional, it's very powerful. So keep those in mind when you're marketing, you're writing copy, or hiring it out to a consultant or a copywriter. As well as anything you want to know about that whole process, hit up motiveinmotion.com. It's Evan from Motive in Motion signing out. Peace.